Well, the Prime Minister has been speaking just a few moments ago, promising a complete overhaul of the migration system. Here's the question that GB News political editor Christopher Hope put to the Prime Minister.
So, GB News. Prime Minister, we've been here before, haven't we? There have been 3 immigration acts since 2014. The Immigration Act in 2014 and 2016 both aimed to reduce immigration. They both failed. Why on earth should GB News viewers think you're going to succeed? And why not give us a promise right now? Why give us a fixed target right now, not a promise, so we can judge you on success? The Tories at least did that, but they failed.
Well, look, the difference here, this is the most comprehensive plan that has been put forward. It's been forward to end the Tory sort of wild open borders experiment that we have had. You're right about that. And it looks at all routes and it's comprehensive. And it does the hard yards of linking skills and business to what we need to do with the economy. So it's not a narrow look just at the numbers. It puts them in their proper context. On the question, which we do want to significantly reduce migration, I'm absolutely making clear that's what it will do, and that if we need to go further, we will. So that's the promise I make to your viewers. I don't think it's sensible to put a hard-edged cap on it. That has been done in one form or another for the best part of 10 years by different prime ministers. The only thing that links those prime ministers and the various caps or quotas or limits they put in place is every single one of them failed. And therefore, going down the failed route is not a sensible way for me. As with everything that I do, serious, pragmatic, looking at the things that will actually make a material difference.
Well, that was just 10 minutes ago, the Prime Minister speaking. Let's get analysis of that. Mark White joining us here in the studio. Mark, our Home and Security Editor. Mark.
Well, clearly the government is hoping that this raft of policies or changes that they're announcing to the immigration system will enable them to bring down migration levels. But the Home Secretary herself, in a round of interviews yesterday, said it amounted to savings of about 50,000 in terms of the reduction in migration levels. Well, that's nowhere near enough, really, to satisfy the vast majority of people that migration is being brought under control. As the Prime Minister said himself there, we had in 2023 1 million people, net migration to this country. Actually, it was 1.2 million came in, but with those who left the country, it came out of about 1 million that particular year. So these changes will bring about a reduction of sorts, and it will build on, actually, a reduction that was brought in under the previous government. Whatever this government says, the Conservatives did introduce some policies such as preventing the vast majority of students from bringing family members over, upping the pay thresholds for certain skilled jobs, especially in the care centre, and that has been making a difference over the last couple of years. And when we get the next level or the next set of Office for National Statistics figures on migration out, not this Thursday but a week on Thursday, they're expected to show that continued drop as well. But is it going to get us anywhere near the tens of thousands that the Conservatives promised for years? Not a hope. And that's why the Prime Minister is very careful there, and the Home Secretary in any interviews that she does, to not put any kind of a cap on this, because that's going to be a hostage to fortune that they are going to be held on.
But then how are you meant to see that this policy is working?
Well, there is the point. He says we are going to bring down net migration significantly. So at least we can say if it only comes down by 60 or 70,000, maybe add the Tories' changes to that 100 or so thousand, then is that significant? I would argue not. It was interesting. One of the questions that the Prime Minister was asked was a question about, you know, how can we really be assured that this plan is going to work when your plan for illegal migration has not worked. And today we can actually reveal exclusively that another surge in small boat crossings has happened. It started over the weekend, it's continued today, and already this morning 4 or 5 boats have crossed 250 migrants so far coming to UK waters.
Often related to the quality of the weather, which looks to be quite good out there today.
Yes, but also demonstrating because anytime you've got good weather, they're coming. So it demonstrates that the policy of smashing the gangs isn't working, because if it was, it wouldn't matter what the weather was.
Mark, just stay with us and have a listen now, because we've got Christopher Hope, who's at the scene of that news conference there. Chris, of course, is our political editor. As to how did you feel that the Prime Minister performed?
I think he's quite confident, actually, Eamon and Ellie. I think the politics of this, which is my job to look at that, is fascinating. We had the disaster at the ballot box a week last Thursday when Reform UK surged and won all those councils across the country. I counted him saying, take back control 5 times. That's language that we remember vividly from the 2016 EU referendum, and that is what the Tory government failed to do in the 8 years since that vote, and that's why he thinks he can deliver on that. The language there also, he said that there are forces slowly pulling this country apart. Now, if I haven't heard a bigger attack on multiculturalism from the PM, I haven't heard one. We need to reduce immigration significantly, but I asked him on behalf of GB News viewers, what will that figure be? As you were saying there, how can we judge your success in this? The answer came there, none. And I think that's what's so important. Mark's right, there might be 120,000 fall in net migration, maybe, figures out a week Thursday, but that barely touches the sides on the figures coming on the overall figure, 1.2 million, I think 700,000, the more recent figure. Where are we? That is far more than new homes they're building, and that's why I think the politics is so difficult. But it appears to me that if in language only, and let's see if it's delivered, and Rachel Reeves was sitting just alongside me, that question about will the Treasury allow you to cut back on migration, and if that damages the economy, is that going to be okay with you, Prime Minister? That is a question which has failed Tory leaders over the past 8 years. But what was interesting, that he said that during all that period, the Boris boom in migration since 2021, we haven't grown more in the economy. So almost that boom in economy is how the PM will answer the Treasury. Well, you had all that the growth there in the migration in those years, and the economy didn't grow at the same time. So perhaps this might be the moment when the Treasury is put back in its box, and the politics delivering on that promise of 2016 for so many Brexiteer voters is delivered.
Chris, what's your sense of why we're hearing this tough rhetoric from the Prime Minister now? Do you think it is a knee-jerk reaction to the local election results last week, or do you think it is, they promised to bring down net migration in their manifesto, didn't they?
Yeah, that's all it did, though, bring it down to no actual figure, Ellie. This is not a knee-jerk reaction, because this bill is a major bit of legislation published at 9:30 today. GB News will be speaking to Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary. That interview is out at 12 o'clock. Then statements in the House of Commons. This is a significant moment for this government, so not a knee-jerk reaction, but certainly a reaction to complete failure by the last government. They can make some ground here if this government can try and bring down net migration to a manageable level. But what that figure is, we're going to be still probably over 500,000 a week Thursday, if not more than that. So is that even anywhere remotely where we need to be? Many would say not, but at least it's a start. And he did say to us in that answer he gave us, we played again moments ago, he will go further if these measures don't work.
Chris, leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. Mark, targets then, and he's got to declare them by next week. How do you think this looks?
Well, I think in terms of what the government's trying to do, clearly they want to encourage industry here in this country to start properly training. There's 9 million people who are described as sort of economically inactive, and about half of those, it's believed, could get gainful employment again. But getting them into the likes of the care sector, you're going to have to train them, but you're also going to have to increase the wages of the care sector. All that is going to require the government to put its hands in its pockets and provide more money, and for industry as well to invest more in training people in this country rather than taking already pre-trained people from abroad. So it's a big sort of unknown as to whether that will actually come off. And if it doesn't, we're back to square one, exactly where we are, with industry desperate for people to fill places, no one from the pool here in the UK in a position or willing to do that, and they're going to put pressure on to get more people from overseas again.
And this is a government that is going for growth, isn't it? So, I mean, there will have to be an acceptance that if you want British talent, you will have to pay more.
Although that was a very interesting point, I think, that he made about this kind of people drawing the link between very significant migration and an ability to grow quicker and faster. The past 4 years, when migration has quadrupled, actually growth has been stagnant, especially in 2023 with 1 million people. Growth has been stagnant, is what the Prime Minister is arguing.